I never imagined that a simple favor after class would completely change my life. Dr. Martin Rivera, my literature professor, had always been a distant and professional figure. However, that day, when he asked me to stay and help him, something in his voice made me feel that something different was about to happen. At first, I thought it would just be an ordinary work moment, but everything changed when he started talking about his loneliness, about how difficult it was to be gay in a world he didn't always understand. What came next, not even in my wildest dreams would I have anticipated. Welcome to your favorite gay stories channel, Pride Chronicles. We invite you to subscribe to the channel and give us a like to the video. By the way, we have noticed that more than 90% who watch our videos are not subscribed. Help us with your subscription to the channel. Let's get started. It was a normal day at the university, or so I thought at first. The sun was filtering weakly through the classroom windows, and the sound of students packing their things announced the end of a class that, although interesting, had not left me with any special feeling. Most of the classmates had already left the classroom when the professor, Dr. Martin Rivera, asked me to stay for a moment. I needed help to pick up some papers and sort the materials I had used during the class. Dr. Rivera was a tall, dark-haired man who always wore his hair a bit messy, and his glasses always seemed to droop a bit off his nose. He was a reserved man, always professional, but there was something in his gaze that seemed to hold a hidden history. His voice was soft, but sometimes you could feel the authority of years of experience in it. I had never talked to him too much outside of class, but I knew that he was generally respected and highly regarded for his knowledge. What I didn't know, however, was that this day would completely change our relationship. When I went over to help him, he thanked me with a smile, and together we began to tidy up the room. There was something in the atmosphere that seemed a little tense, but it wasn't anything I could identify. As we gathered up the papers, it occurred to me to ask him a question about a topic we had briefly touched on in class. But before I could say anything, he interrupted me with a thoughtful look. Are you liking the video so far? As we know you are. Leave us a like and subscribe to the best storytelling channel on the internet. Let's keep going. You know, I was thinking about how lonely I've been feeling lately, he said, looking down at the stack of papers in his hands. His voice became softer, almost as if he was hesitant to share something personal with me. My response was simply silence, and a gesture indicating to him that he could continue talking if he wished. It's weird, he continued, but lately I've been thinking a lot about how lonely I feel. Maybe because I'm gay, and I'm having a hard time finding someone I can really be myself with. It's hard. Hearing his words, I felt a pang in my chest. I hadn't expected the professor to share something so intimate. His words hit me hard, and for a moment I was at a loss for what to respond. But then, something changed inside me. I was gay too, something I had always kept secret, even from my closest friends. My relationship with my sexuality had always been complicated, but hearing that the professor felt just as lost connected me to him in a way I hadn't anticipated. The silence in the room grew longer, and my thoughts began to race a mile a minute. I had never imagined that someone like him, someone so confident and professional, could feel so alone. And yet, at that moment, I felt closer to him than ever. I'm gay too, I finally said, unable to help myself. My voice sounded strange, almost shy, as if she was somehow surprised to hear me say it. When Dr. Rivera looked at me, his eyes sparkled with a mixture of surprise and something else, as if my confession had opened a door that had been closed until that moment. Really? She asked, her voice shaky. I didn't know. I thought maybe I did, but I didn't expect. I didn't know that you... She didn't finish the sentence, but the silence between us said it all. We were both in the same situation. We both understood what it meant to live with that burden, with that feeling of being trapped in a world that was not always understanding or open. Hey, wait. Before we continue, we invite you to give us a like and subscribe to the channel. Also, tell us if you want to hear a particular story. Let's continue. The tension grew, and for a moment all I could hear was my breathing and his. My eyes met his, and in that instant something changed. There were no words. No words were necessary. Without another thought, I moved closer to him, and before he could react, I kissed him. It was a soft kiss at first, a shy brush of lips that quickly turned into something deeper. The professor did not pull away. On the contrary, he reciprocated the kiss with an intensity that surprised me, as if he was waiting for it to happen. His body moved closer to mine, and I felt his warmth, his strength, something that made me feel more alive than ever. Right there, he locked the door to the living room, and we began to do it on the desk. It felt too rich to feel him inside me. When we pulled away, we were both breathing heavily, and our gazes met with a mixture of awe and desire. There was no need to speak. We knew what had happened between us. We knew what we were feeling. At that moment, the whole outside world disappeared, and it was just the two of us, in that small classroom, sharing a secret that could change our lives completely. "This can't be public," he said, his voice deeper than before, as if he suddenly realized what we had just done. "I can't let anyone find out. This has to be something between us, something only we understand." I nodded silently. I didn't need explanations. I knew that what had just happened had to be kept secret. The university, the world around us, was not a place where two men, especially one in a position of authority like him, could show their love openly. We both knew this, and so we decided that our relationship would have to be hidden, at least for now. Hey, please don't forget to subscribe and like us for more content like this. It helps us to grow this community even more. Let's continue. The next few days were a mixture of mixed emotions. Classes continued as usual, but the air between us had changed. Every time I crossed paths with him, there was a spark, an invisible tension that bound us together. It was as if every moment we shared, even the most trivial conversations, were charged with special meaning. We knew we were walking a fine line, but I couldn't help it. The desire, the need to be close to him, was getting stronger and stronger. We would sneak into his office or into the empty classroom after school. In those moments, everything felt perfect. We would kiss, we would caress each other, and although we had never talked about what would happen in the long run, we felt that what we were experiencing was real. It was our little refuge in the middle of a world that didn't understand what we were experiencing. Over time, emotions became more intense. What started as a secret relationship turned into something much deeper. We began to talk about our fears, about what we wanted for the future. We both shared the fear of being discovered, but also the desire that someday, somewhere, we could live our relationship without fear. The love that had been born in an empty room became something we could no longer deny, something that had brought us together in a way we didn't know was possible. However, we knew we couldn't go on like this forever. The pressure of keeping our relationship hidden was beginning to take its toll. But at the time, neither of us could imagine a future without the other. Despite the difficulties, we decided that our relationship, though hidden, was the most important thing. And in time, we would find a way to be together, no matter what the world thought. What began as a moment of loneliness and confession turned into true love, a love that neither of us had expected, but was destined to blossom. And though we knew life would not be easy, at least we had something worthwhile: each other. The next few days were strange. The relationship we had become a dangerous game, a shared secret that kept us in constant tension. During classes, our exchanges of glances were more intense. Whenever we passed each other, there was a palpable energy that enveloped us, but we could never act openly. Our love had to remain invisible, and that pressure was something we both felt. However, between the stolen hugs and furtive glances, the truth was undeniable. What began as an impulsive act, a kiss that came without thinking, had become something profound, something that united us beyond the physical. Although we knew our relationship was dangerous and risky, every moment together was a confirmation of what we really felt for each other. And in those moments of shared solitude, the fears and insecurities disappeared, and we were the only ones left, living our love in the dark, hoping that someday the light would illuminate our path. That's all for today. Let us know if you liked the video and this story surprised you. Leave us a like and share it with your friends so they don't miss it.